There are trading tricks that Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Tools that retail investors are just now discovering. And they're changing the game in 2024. For years, the big institutions had all the advantages. Armies of analysts, proprietary software, and access to data that the average person could only dream of. They built a system designed to keep them on top, leaving everyone else to pick up the scraps. But the landscape is shifting, and technology is finally leveling the playing field. The tools we're talking about today aren't just minor upgrades, they are fundamental game changers that automate complex analysis and uncover opportunities that were previously invisible to the naked eye. If you've ever felt like the trading world was stacked against you, you're not alone. But what if I told you that with the right tools, even beginners can trade like pros? It's a feeling I know all too well. Staring at a chart, feeling overwhelmed, and wondering if you're just gambling your hard-earned money away. The truth is, without the right leverage, you probably are. The pros aren't smarter, they're just better equipped. They have systems that remove emotion and highlight high-probability setups. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on those very systems, making them accessible to anyone with the drive to succeed. Stick with me because in this video we'll uncover the 5 secret trading tools smart investors are using right now. And trust me, you won't believe number 4. We're going to break down exactly what they are, how they work, and the specific hidden trick for each one that separates the amateurs from the profitable traders. This isn't just a list, it's a new arsenal for your financial journey. So do me a quick favor and smash that like button if you're serious about building your financial future. It tells the YouTube algorithm we mean business, and it helps get this information out to more people just like you. Let's dive in. Alright, let's get right into it with our first tool, and it's an absolute beast, TrendSpider. Now if you've ever spent hours, and I mean hours, manually drawing trend lines on a chart, trying to find support and resistance only to second-guess yourself and redraw them all over again, then this is for you. I've been there, staring at the screen until my eyes blur, wondering if that line is really valid. It's tedious, it's subjective, and honestly, it's a huge time sink where errors can cost you real money. TrendSpider completely eliminates that problem by using AI-powered automated technical analysis. Think about that for a second. Instead of you hunting for patterns, you have a sophisticated algorithm doing it for you instantly and without bias. It scans the chart and automatically plots mathematically precise trend lines, support zones, and resistance levels. This isn't just about saving time, it's about gaining a level of precision that the human eye can easily miss, especially when you're caught up in the emotion of a potential trade. The platform's dynamic trendline detection is where it really starts to feel like you have a superpower. As new price data comes in, the trend lines automatically adjust. This is huge. It means you're always working with the most current, relevant information without having to constantly update your charts manually. It's like having a full-time chartist working for you 24/7, ensuring your analysis is never stale. This feature alone can keep you from entering a trade based on an old, broken trend line that you simply forgot to update. On top of that, it has one of the most robust backtesting engines I've ever seen. You can come up with any trading strategy, let's say buy when the RSI is below 30, and the price crosses above the 50-day moving average, and TrendSpider will instantly test it against years of historical data. It will tell you the win rate, the average profit, the average loss, and a dozen other metrics. This is how you stop guessing and start making data-driven decisions. You can validate your ideas before risking a single dollar. But here's the secret trick, the part that most TrendSpider users completely overlook. They get so caught up in the automated trend lines that they miss the real gold, the raindrop chart. Now a standard candlestick chart shows you 4 data points, the open, high, low, and close for a period. It's useful, but it's incomplete. It doesn't tell you where the volume was. Was all the buying pressure at the top of the candle or the bottom? That context is everything. The raindrop chart changes the game. It's a proprietary chart type that visualizes the volume profile within each candle. The left side of the raindrop shows you the volume profile for the first half of the period, and the right side shows the second half. This allows you to see not just the price movement but where the big money, the institutional volume, was actually trading. It's a powerful volume-weighted insight that gives you a massive edge. For example, imagine you see a green candle that closes near its high. On a normal chart, that looks bullish. But with a raindrop chart you might see that all the volume was concentrated at the low of the candle, and the volume on the right side, the end of the period, was very thin. This tells you that buyers were aggressive early on, but they disappeared as the price went up. That's not strength, that's a potential exhaustion point, a warning sign that the move might be about to reverse. Most retail traders are flying blind when it comes to volume analysis. They see a volume bar at the bottom of the screen and think they understand the story, but that bar doesn't tell you if the volume was buying or selling or at what price level it occurred. The raindrop chart peels back that layer and shows you the internal struggle between buyers and sellers within each and every candle. It's like having X-ray vision for the market. So while everyone else is getting excited about the automated trend lines, which are great, don't get me wrong, the smart money is digging deeper. They're using the raindrop charts to confirm their analysis and spot divergences that are invisible on a standard chart. You can see a breakout happening, and with the raindrop, you can confirm if there's heavy volume supporting that breakout, dramatically increasing your confidence in the trade. This is the kind of nuanced information that used to be reserved for hedge fund traders with expensive, custom-built software. Now, it's available to anyone who knows where to look. Using this feature allows you to front-run the crowd by understanding the quality of a price move, not just the move itself. You can spot institutional accumulation or distribution before it becomes obvious to everyone else. So, the takeaway here is this. Absolutely use TrendSpider for its incredible automation and backtesting to save time and build robust strategies. But don't stop there. Master the raindrop chart. Make it a mandatory part of your pre-trade checklist. Look for volume confirmations. This single trick will elevate your analysis from the retail level to the professional level. And that's how you find your edge in 2024. Next up is a tool that many of you probably already use, but I guarantee most of you aren't using it to its full potential. I'm talking about TradingView. People see it as just a great charting platform, which it is. It's clean, it's fast, it's intuitive. But thinking of TradingView as just a charting platform is like thinking of an iPhone as just a device for making calls. You're missing 99% of its power. The real magic, the secret weapon hidden in plain sight, is its massive open-source library of community-created indicators and strategies. We're not talking about the standard stuff like RSI, MACD, or moving averages that come pre-loaded. I'm talking about tens of thousands of custom scripts written by brilliant traders and programmers from all over the world. This is where the real innovation is happening, and it's a treasure trove for anyone willing to dig. Think about it. While most traders are using the same handful of overused and frankly outdated indicators, you can access highly specialized tools designed for specific market conditions. There are indicators for spotting momentum squeezes, algorithms for identifying institutional order blocks, and scripts that combine multiple concepts into a single, easy-to-read visual signal. It's a collective intelligence that no single company could ever replicate. But here's where people go wrong. They get overwhelmed. They open the indicator library, see thousands of options, and either pick one with a cool name, or just give up and go back to what they know. The pro hack isn't just knowing the library exists, it's knowing how to filter it. You need to be methodical. You're not looking for the holy grail indicator that works 100% of the time, because that doesn't exist. You're looking for something specific. Your mission is to hunt for scripts with two key characteristics: a high documented win rate and, just as importantly, a low drawdown. A high win rate is great, but if the strategy suffers from massive drawdowns, one bad trade can wipe out 10 good ones and destroy your account, not to mention your psychology. Many script creators will post their back-tested results and statistics right in the script's description. This is your first filter. Ignore everything else. Once you find a promising indicator, the next step is crucial. The secret trick is to prioritize scripts that are open source. This means the creator has made the underlying code, written in TradingView's Pine script language, visible and accessible to everyone. Why is this so important? Because it allows you to look under the hood and truly understand the logic behind the signals. You're not just blindly trusting a black box. More importantly, having the open source code allows you to customize it. This is the part that separates the top 1% of traders from everyone else. Maybe you find a fantastic reversal indicator, but you notice it gives some false signals during low volume periods. If the code is open source, you can go in and add a simple filter, like only show signals if volume is above the 20-period moving average. Just like that, you've personalized the tool and made it significantly more robust for your specific strategy. You don't even need to be a coding genius to do this. PineScript is relatively easy to learn, and with the help of AI tools like ChatGPT, you can make simple modifications without writing a single line of code from scratch. You can literally copy the script's code, paste it into ChatGPT, and say, please add a condition so that buy signals only appear when the 200-day moving average is also trending up. It's an insane level of leverage. This process transforms you from a passive user of indicators into an active architect of your own trading system. You're taking a proven concept from the community and then sharpening it to fit your exact risk tolerance and trading style. This is how you build a unique edge that no one else has. You're not just pulling a tool off the shelf, you're forging your own weapon. Let me give you a concrete example. There's a popular community script called the Fu Manchu Cipher B. It's a complex indicator that combines multiple oscillators to spot divergences and momentum shifts. It's great, but it can be noisy. The average trader uses it as is. The pro trader finds the open source version, duplicates the script, and starts tweaking. They might remove one of the oscillators they don't like or change the sensitivity of the buy signals to be less frequent but more accurate. So, your workflow should be this. Go to TradingView's indicator library. Search for strategies, not just indicators. Filter by those with high ratings and detailed backtest results. Find one that is open source, study the code to understand its logic, and finally, customize it. Add your own filters, change the parameters, and make it your own. Stop using the same default tools as everyone else and start building your proprietary edge with the power of the TradingView community. Alright, let's move on to our third tool, which is all about finding the right opportunities in a sea of thousands of stocks. One of the biggest challenges for any trader is knowing what to trade. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you're applying it to the wrong stock at the wrong time, you're going to lose money. This is where FinViz Elite comes in, and it acts as your personal 24/7 market filter. Most people are familiar with the free version of FinViz, which is a decent starting point for basic screening, but the free version is like looking at the market through a keyhole. FinViz Elite is like kicking the door down. The biggest difference is access to real-time data and pre-market information. While free users are looking at delayed quotes, elite users are already seeing what's moving before the opening bell even rings, giving them a massive head start on the day. Think of FinViz Elite as your command center for market awareness. Its real-time heat maps are one of the most powerful features. With a single glance you can see the entire S&P 500, broken down by sector and industry, and instantly identify what's hot and what's not. Is money flowing into technology and out of financials? Is one specific stock glowing bright green while its entire industry is red? This visual context is priceless and something you can't get from a simple watch list. Beyond the heat maps, the power of FinViz lies in its incredibly detailed screening filters. You can slice and dice the market in almost any way imaginable. You can screen for stocks based on fundamental data like PE ratios and earnings growth, or technical signals like new 52-week high or above the 50-day moving average. This is how you narrow down a universe of 8,000 stocks to a manageable list of high-potential candidates that fit your specific criteria. Another feature that gives you an almost unfair advantage is the insider tracking. FinViz Elite shows you in real time when corporate insiders, CEOs, CFOs, board members, are buying or selling shares of their own company. When a CEO invests millions of dollars of their own money into their company's stock, that's a powerful vote of confidence. It's a signal that they know something positive is on the horizon. Following these insider clusters can be an incredibly profitable strategy, but just like our other tools, there is a hidden trick that the pros use to get the most out of FinViz Elite, and it's a filter that most people don't even know exists. Everyone knows how to screen for things like overbought RSI or high relative volume. That's basic stuff. The real secret is using the signal filter, and specifically, looking for the wedge up, triangle ascending, and channel up breakout patterns. Here's why this is so powerful. These aren't just simple one-candle signals. FinViz's algorithm is automatically scanning thousands of charts every single minute to identify stocks that are forming these classic consolidation patterns. A consolidation pattern, like a wedge or a triangle, represents a period where buyers and sellers are in equilibrium. It's the market taking a breath before its next big move. Identifying a stock coiling up in one of these patterns is like finding a compressed spring. The trick is to use this signal filter to catch these breakout stocks before they make their big move. While everyone else is chasing stocks that have already gone up 20%, you're identifying them when they are quiet and consolidating. You can set up a screen to show you, for example, all stocks in the technology sector with a market cap over $2 billion that are currently forming an ascending triangle pattern. This gives you a highly targeted watch list of stocks poised for a potential breakout. You can then take that small, curated list of stocks and do your deeper analysis using tools like TrendSpider or TradingView. FinViz does the heavy lifting of finding the opportunities, and then you come in to qualify the setups. You're not randomly hunting for charts that look good, you're letting the algorithm bring the highest probability setups directly to you. Imagine this, it's pre-market, you log into FinViz Elite, you run your custom screen for breakout patterns, it gives you a list of 3 stocks, you pull up their charts, and one of them looks perfect. It's in a clear uptrend, the pattern is well defined and insider buying has been picking up. You now have a high-conviction trade idea ready to go before 99% of other traders have even had their morning coffee. This proactive approach is the complete opposite of how most retail traders operate. They react to news and chase momentum. The professional approach is to anticipate moves by identifying patterns of consolidation. The signal filter in FinViz Elite is your secret weapon for anticipation. It automates the process of finding these setups at scale, saving you hundreds of hours of manual chart scanning. So, stop using FinViz just for its heat maps or basic PE filters. Dive deep into the screener. Combine fundamental, technical, and signal filters to create a system that finds your perfect trade setup, and make the signal filter for chart patterns the cornerstone of your process. This is how you stop chasing the market and start letting the best opportunities come directly to you. Now we come to number 4, and I told you that you wouldn't believe this one. This is where things start to feel like the future. We're talking about the direct integration of large language models, like the technology behind ChatGPT, directly into your trading analysis. The tool leading this charge is called ChartGPT, and it's fundamentally changing how traders interact with market data. For decades, technical analysis has been a visual skill. You had to train your eyes to see patterns, divergences, and trends. It took years of practice and staring at thousands of charts to become proficient. ChartGPT short-circuits that entire learning curve. Instead of you searching the chart for a setup, you can now simply ask the AI to find it for you using plain English. It's a paradigm shift. At its core, ChartGPT uses advanced AI to perform real-time pattern recognition on any chart you pull up. It can instantly identify dozens of candlestick patterns, chart patterns like head and shoulders or double bottoms, and harmonic patterns that are notoriously difficult to spot manually. It overlays these findings directly onto your chart, but that's just the beginning. The real power is in the conversational interface. You can literally open a chat window connected to your chart and type in a request like, "Show me all bullish engulfing candles on the daily chart for Apple in the last year." And boom, it highlights them for you. This is already incredibly powerful for studying and backtesting, but it gets even better. It can also perform sentiment analysis by scanning news headlines, social media, and financial reports related to the stock you're viewing, giving you an instant read on the market's mood. This combination of technical and sentiment analysis is something that, until now, would have required multiple expensive subscriptions and a lot of manual work to piece together. ChartGPT integrates it all into one seamless experience. You can see a bullish chart pattern forming and immediately ask the AI, "What is the current news sentiment for this stock?" to get that extra layer of confirmation. But of course, there is an insider trick. The beginners will ask simple questions like, "Is this a good time to buy Tesla?" which is a low-quality query that will yield a generic response. The pros know that the quality of the AI's output is entirely dependent on the quality of their input. The secret is to ask for highly specific, multi-conditional trade setups that combine indicators for high-probability results. Here is the million-dollar prompt, the insider trick to using ChartGPT effectively. You need to ask for setups based on confluence. Specifically, one of the most powerful combinations is asking for setups based on RSI divergence and a MACD cross. These are two of the most reliable and time-tested indicators in trading, and when they align, the signals are incredibly potent. So instead of a vague question, a pro trader would ask ChartGPT something like this: scan the 4-hour chart for SPY. Identify any instances of bullish RSI divergence that occurred within the last 5 candles, and highlight only the ones that were followed by a bullish MACD crossover within the next 3 candles. This is a highly specific professional-grade query. You're not asking for an opinion. You're asking the AI to find a precise data-driven setup that has a historically high probability of success. RSI divergence occurs when the price is making a new low, but the RSI indicator is making a higher low. It's a classic sign that downside momentum is fading and a reversal might be imminent. The MACD crossover is a momentum indicator that confirms the shift. By requiring both to happen in close succession, you filter out a massive amount of market noise and are left with only the A-plus setups. Manually scanning for this specific combination across multiple time frames and dozens of stocks would be an exhausting full-time job. ChartGPT can do it in seconds. This is your AI trading analyst, working tirelessly to find the exact setups you've defined as your edge. It's about moving from a reactive to a systematic approach. You define your system's rules in plain English, and the AI executes the search. This completely changes the daily routine of a trader. Instead of spending hours hunting for opportunities, you can spend a few minutes in the morning running your high-probability queries across your watch list. The AI does the grunt work, presenting you with a handful of pre-vetted trade ideas. This frees up your mental capital to focus on risk management and trade execution, which is where traders truly make their money. So while others are just playing with ChartGPT asking it basic questions, you need to be a power user. Create complex multi-layered queries. Combine leading indicators like RSI divergence with lagging or confirming indicators like a MACD cross or a moving average crossover. This is how you leverage AI not as a gimmick but as a serious tool for generating alpha. Master the art of the prompt, and you will have an analytical edge that is simply unavailable to traders relying on manual methods alone. Our final tool is arguably the most important one, yet it's the one that 90% of struggling traders completely ignore. It's not about finding trades, it's about what you do after the trade is closed. I'm talking about journaling, but not in the way you think. Forget about messy spreadsheets or notebooks. We're talking about a dedicated trading journal platform called TradeZella, and its purpose is to turn your trading history into your most valuable data set. Every single professional trader I know, without exception, keeps a meticulous journal of their trades. Why? Because if you're not tracking your performance, you are flying blind. You have no objective way of knowing what's working and what's not. You're doomed to repeat the same costly mistakes over and over again because you're relying on memory, and memory is notoriously biased and unreliable, especially when money is on the line. TradeZella automates and gamifies this entire process. You can connect it directly to your broker, and it will automatically import all of your trades. No more manual data entry, which is the #1 reason people give up on journaling. It then takes that raw data and transforms it into powerful visual analytics that expose the truth about your trading. It's like getting a report card that tells you exactly where you're excelling and where you're failing. One of its most powerful features is the win or loss heat maps. It can create a calendar heat map that shows you which days of the week, or even which hours of the day, you are most and least profitable. You might discover that you consistently lose money on Fridays, perhaps because you're forcing trades before the weekend. Or you might find that your best trades always happen in the first hour of the market open. This insight alone is worth its weight in gold. It allows you to build a trading schedule around your proven strengths. It also breaks down your performance by strategy, by setup, by asset, and by dozens of other metrics. You might think your breakout strategy is your best, but the data might reveal that you actually make most of your money trading mean reversion setups. Without this objective data, you're just guessing. TradeZella removes the guesswork and replaces it with cold, hard facts about your own performance. But here is the secret trick. This is the feature within TradeZella that can have the most profound impact on your bottom line. And it's something a simple spreadsheet can never do. It's the psychological tagging feature. For every trade you take, TradeZella encourages you to tag it with the emotion or mental state you were in when you entered it. Were you feeling confident, fearful, greedy? Were you chasing a stock out of FOMO, fear of missing out? Or were you taking a revenge trade after a loss? This right here is the key to unlocking consistent profitability. Because for most traders, the biggest enemy isn't the market, it's themselves. Their own psychological biases are what sabotage their results. By tagging your trades with emotions, you create a dataset on your own psychology. After a month, you can run a report in TradeZella and ask it a simple question. What is my P&L on trades tagged with FOMO? The results will likely shock you. You might see that while your overall P&L is slightly positive, your FOMO trades have a net loss of thousands of dollars. You now have undeniable quantitative proof that every time you chase a stock because you're afraid of missing out, you lose money. This isn't a vague feeling anymore, it's a data point. Seeing that in black and white is what finally gives you the discipline to stop making that mistake. You can do the same for revenge trading. See a big loss? The data might show that your next 3 trades were also losers because you were trading emotionally, trying to make back the money you lost. By identifying this pattern, you can implement a hard rule. After any significant loss, I must step away from the screen for at least 1 hour. This rule isn't based on a guru's advice, it's based on your own data. This is the ultimate feedback loop. The market gives you information in the form of price. You take a trade, you record the trade and your mental state in TradeZella. TradeZella then analyzes that data and gives you feedback on your patterns. You use that feedback to refine your rules and improve your psychological game. This is the process of deliberate practice that separates the pros from the perpetual amateurs. So please, if you take anything away from this video, let it be this. Start journaling. And don't just track your entries and exits. Track your mind. Use a tool like TradeZella to tag your emotions and identify your personal, costly psychological patterns. Understanding your technical setups is only half the battle. The other half is mastering yourself, and this is the tool that gives you the data to do it. So there you have it, 5 game-changing tools and the secret tricks to unlock their true power. From AI-driven analysis with TrendSpider and ChartGPT, to leveraging community intelligence on TradingView, to finding hidden gems with FinViz, and finally, to mastering your own psychology with TradeZella. You've just unlocked trading tools that most people won't even hear about until 2025. And now it's your move. Knowledge is only potential power. Action is what turns it into profit. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is bridged by the consistent application of the right tools and strategies. The market doesn't care about your hopes or your fears, it only rewards preparation and discipline. You now have a roadmap to a more professional, data-driven approach to trading. The question is, what will you do with it? Are you going to go back to staring at charts, guessing and hoping for the best? Or are you going to implement these systems, build your edge, and take control of your financial destiny? The choice is yours, and it starts today. Drop a comment below with your favorite tool from today, and tell me, are you going to watch the market, or are you ready to master it? I read every single comment, and I'm genuinely curious to see which of these resonated with you the most. And before you go, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. As a thank you for watching, I put together a free PDF, the 2024 Trading Toolkit, summarizing everything we covered today. The link is right at the top of the description. Grab it, use it, and start trading smarter.